Hey there, internets. This is Kyle coming to you again with another edition of the My Business Launch Secrets YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing well. Just chilling here in the evening with my sweet dog, who again has been doing jack shit all day, but apparently sees the need to mostly sleep most of the day. So that's how things are at around here. Is the weekend, Sunday, wrapping up the weekend, and about to get back into another work week, which is, depressing a little bit, I guess, frankly, but it's good. Got a good paying day job again. I'm doing all this online internet stuff here on the side, a little part-time gig for the time being, hopefully working into a full-time gig down the road. Today, let's talk a little bit about social media, because I love social media, and I say that meaning I really hate it, and I wish I didn't have to do anything with it, which is why, frankly, I think I kind of avoided this whole entrepreneurial thing for a little while, like in years past, because I was just like, I don't want people to know who I am. I don't want to be known. I don't want to have to sell people things, and because I know doing that in this day and age predominantly means you need to be out on the social medias, get your name out there, get to be known, and then maybe people will start to think about buying something from you, right? And I've just never got much into the social media thing. I guess on occasion, on and off over the years, I've dabbled in Instagram, just personal page or whatever, and throw up some random pictures for the 5 friends I would have on there or something. Just sharing little bits of information along my journey of life, I guess. But would usually end up just like deleting everything at some point and either shut down the account entirely, or maybe not shut it down, but just delete it off my phone, not think about it for like 2 years, and then maybe I would get the itch one day and decide to reinstall it and start posting stuff again. That's been about how I've viewed the whole social media thing for the past, 15 years or so that it's been around. And again, not a big consumer by any means. That being said, now that I've been doing this whole business thing, I'm thinking about, okay, well, I guess I do have to be a social media producer, not consumer so much. I need to produce content for the social medias so that people can search for me and can find out what I'm all about if they're thinking about buying something from me. Which has then led me to get back to like creating all these accounts, and now creating accounts for the business separate from my personal accounts, the 2 or 3 that I have, and got the apps on my phone now, which has been terrible as I've been sick over these past couple weeks. As I've mentioned before, you just get sucked into that shit. Obviously, Facebook makes shit ton of money because they get people addicted to the content that they put out, and then that means they can sell more advertisements, et cetera, et cetera. So they make tons of money, and meanwhile, the Western society at least, but I guess Eastern society as well, to a certain extent, become dumber and dumber every day. And that's the 21st century for you, I guess, in a nutshell. But nevertheless, I recognize that it's an important part of especially starting an online business. Again, if I were wanted to be Joe Handyman or something, I could just go knock on some doors and sell my services, I guess. But I'm wanting to start an online business in particular and sell things predominantly online, whether that's a physical product I send to somebody physically, or if it's an online course or something. And so inevitably, somebody buying things online, either you're going to need to reach them through the social media, or if you reach them through some other means, they're probably still going to want to search you out and Google you and inevitably when you Google a business or whatever, what usually comes up is their social media stuff. So that's kind of the first thing people are going to see, and us having a presence on those internet channels obviously is important, even though I don't want to do it, honestly. But that's the state of play of things today. So as I mentioned, I broke it all down here real quick. I've got the PhD Boss, that's the business I'm building. Facebook page. And I created a separate personal Facebook profile, because you have to have a Facebook profile. You can't just only create a Facebook page. You have to have a Facebook personal profile that then you create the page within that personal profile. So I created a new personal profile because even though I do have an old Facebook account, I just don't want any connection there, just like to keep things clean and separate. Which is why I think it's dumb that they force you to tie it to a personal account, but whatever. That's the way that Facebook works. And they're a multi-billion-dollar company, even though they're losing money faster than you can say Meta. Along with that, I got the PhD Boss Instagram account set up. One post currently. So I was testing out some shit earlier. Got the PhD Boss page on LinkedIn, which I've just kind of notionally heard maybe this is not going to be very helpful for marketing purposes, but given the type of services I'm offering, which is more focused towards professionals, career professionals, people with PhDs, at least for now, I figure I should have a presence here because, again, that's another avenue people could search. I got the PhD Boss Twitter account, which I've got 7 tweets. I'll talk about what these things are that I'm starting to put out in a minute. You got the PhD Boss YouTube channel, which is where I will at least initially be dumping the PhD Secrets podcasts videos. I did create a separate PhD Secrets YouTube channel, and I noticed some people who have podcasts do have dedicated YouTube channels for their podcasts, but those are more established people who they can afford to do that. I would just rather, I need to start simple, don't confuse people. PhD Boss is the company. That's the one selling services or products or whatever. PhD Secrets is just a podcast, a product more or less of this company. So everything still drives back to PhD Boss is the general philosophy. And that's just the decision I've made because that makes sense to me. You can tell me it's wrong, that's fine. In terms of posting here, so yeah, I've been mainly relying on a tool I use called, what is it called? Readwise. Yeah, it's on here. Via Readwise. Excuse me. Readwise is an app that, for me, it does a lot of different things, but for me, predominantly, captures all the highlights for my books on Kindle. So at least recently, I've been reading all my books on Kindle, and so if I highlight something on my Kindle, Readwise will capture that, and then it will send me a daily email with 5 just random highlights from books I've read over the past years to just kind of keep those ideas fresh. And it's always helpful to go back to things that you thought were important because you highlighted them when you read them, but of course how many times you highlight something and then a year later you have no clue what that book said that you read a year ago. So it's kind of a way to keep it fresh in mind and help to lock it in your long-term memory. Anyway, so it sends you this daily email, which is kind of some cool things. You can sort of customize what that is and customize the algorithm that it uses to pull from which types of books, etc., and whatever. But it has share when you're looking at that on the either, I usually click out of the email to go to a web page that has all the nice looking quotes from those books, and then you can share directly from there. And it's easiest to share directly to Twitter. I won't get into the issues of sharing to other socials, but anyway, easy to do, sharing it to Twitter. So I've been just kind of dumping, and you can also get it to automatically copy all the text from this quote out of this book as text, as well as have an image. So you have a nice visual, but you also have the text for capturing keywords and all that sort of stuff, right? So I've got a variety of those starting to populate, and this is kind of what I'm using as initial fodder for the social media ing that I'm planning to get started here in the coming weeks. Pushing out these types of things, which, I mean, these quotes are all, things that are relevant to PhDs, even though they're not really books specifically for PhDs, but they're just kind of common themes that I feel are important in my own life as a PhD, and are things I want to share with others. So I'd like to start pushing more of that stuff out more broadly across all these channels, at least the non-video ones. But I haven't found a super easy way to do that. Even I started to, look at using Canva as a way to start to schedule content, because I do have a Canva Pro account, and in the Pro account you can schedule social media posts for the future. The idea being that, okay, maybe on something like a Saturday or Sunday when I have a little more time at home, I can just generate a dozen of these posts and schedule them to blast out throughout the week, so I just don't have to think about it until the next weekend. But at least I'm staying consistent in terms of the flow of information onto the social medias, because as we all know, social media is it's just a revolving door of crap, and then eventually see something good. So if you're not in that continual crap wheel of information to potentially get your message in front of your target audience, then they're inevitably not going to see you. So got to kind of keep yourself in the mix continually, or you'll become irrelevant, or just never become relevant at all. So I'm trying to work on that. Again, I know I need to kind of build systems, because I don't have the time to sit here every day and set an alarm on my phone. Oh, it's 3:00. I got to post to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn right now. And let me think of a post real quick and blah, blah. I can't do that shit. I mean, that would never work. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best system process that is going to be executable. So I thought Canva would serve this purpose, but after playing around with it for a while, I don't think it's going to fit my needs. Not that it doesn't work. I mean, it does work. It does push out posts, but I would say it's a kind of a relatively basic scheduling tool. And there are some caveats, so if I made a design, I made this design, or this was from that Readwise tool, I just copied this, or downloaded the image, right? But you copy this image into a design within Canva, but then you can only share that design to a single social media platform. So I can't just say, hey, schedule this to go out to Facebook tomorrow at 3, and then schedule it to go out to Instagram tomorrow at 2, LinkedIn, blah, blah. You can't do that. I don't know why, but it's just how things are set up. It says so on their webpage very clearly. So I'm not just limited by my ignorance, but that is just how they have it set up. Also, you can't do things like put tags in these images and stuff like that. And I don't think it gives you much in terms of analytics from those posts. So again, it'll push those things to your social medias, but it's not. I don't think receiving any information back. I could be wrong. I frankly haven't looked too much at this, but I don't really see anything necessarily in here that's going. Or maybe there's some way to get some insights into how the post performed, I guess. I don't know, but there's no like broad, at least, there's no like analytics tab in any of the information. So maybe you could do it on a post by post basis if you just want to look to see how many, views or comments or whatever you got, but it's not giving you any sort of roll up, which again, for starting out, frankly, is going to be like, won't care about that anyway, but I would rather kind of get started with using a tool that's starting to compile all of the data, because I like data and I like to be able to see the trends over long periods of time, which means I got to get started sooner rather than later to start collecting the data. So I have in the past looked at various other tools that you can pay for that help you do all this social media management crap, and oh gosh, it's so painful. Just because it's with anything, there's like 1,000 options out there, and it's like all of them have like 5-star reviews, and you can never tell when somebody writes a review about it or records a video about it. Like, are they just doing that because they got paid to do it? Or are they doing that because they have an affiliate link, they want you to buy it, so they're not getting paid, so they don't have to disclose that they're getting paid to record the video, or give a good review, but they do have an affiliate link, so it's, just the typical ambiguity of the internets these days. It's hard to understand what you really need or what's the best option for your specific need. But nevertheless, after some sifting through things, I think I'm going to go with this social pilot tool. It's like $30 a month on the basic plan if you're just paying monthly. 10 social accounts. Yeah, like I don't have 10 of 5 or whatever. And it's just me for now. It's one user. But, with that, it gives you a lot of the capabilities that this has that, again, something like Canva just doesn't really have in it. Yeah, I won't go through all these or anything, but gives you a little bit better feedback, I guess, overall in terms of the content you're putting out. So I think I want to try this one out. Another nice thing that this has is like some curated content, whatever crap you could just pull from if you just want to kind of fill in some blanks in your overall schedule of things to start pushing out. It gives you some free suggestions you can just push out to get something in the queue. So yeah, anyway, I think I'll start. I'll go ahead and sign up for this, give it a shot, at least try it out. That's $30. I think I can swing that. Try it out for a month, see how that goes, and kind of go from there. At the end of the day, though, it's still all about having the content to push out, and that's where it does, frankly, get a little bit overwhelming of thinking of if you wanted to. I guess initially the goal is just like, could I generate enough stuff to get one piece of content out on all these platforms every day? But that's really kind of like the bare minimum. I think you need to be out like multiple times a day, whether that's 3 or if you're listening to Gary Vanderchuk or whatever his name is, I'll tell you like 10 times a day on every platform or something crazy. Which, it's not too crazy if you think about like, okay, so I'll have a podcast, then I'm going to start doing, so that'll be, and from a podcast, a video podcast, you can edit out clips from that. And if I'm doing, say, 2 podcasts a week, let's just say, I haven't really decided what my schedule is going to be, but let's just say 2 a week, and say that's roughly an hour's worth of content, then, you could edit that, break that up into, many, many different short little clips that you could push out to these different platforms, which is, frankly, what a lot of the big social media guys do. So it's a good model to follow. And of course, that then implies I have to do tons of editing, which I'm not going to do. Well, which I might do some, but I have been thinking that maybe sooner rather than later I'm going to have to bite the bullet and start paying somebody to help do some of this stuff for me, because it's going to get overwhelming. And I still got to get all my funnel shit set up, and then I still have to make a newsletter, because that's what I'm at the end of the day trying to sell here. So I need to be focused on that more than generating all this organic content or whatever, I guess. But anyway, it's a long journey. Love it. Got to keep pressing on. Day 61 here, I think we are today. So anyway, I'm going to go to bed now. Hope you're all doing well, kicking ass, taking names, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace.